Let the warranty begin.
Yes. Well, there's one obvious difference.
She's yellow.
It's yellow, yes. So it got a new paint job for the new model year here, but there's more than just the paint. So this drone is going to run the same batteries as the Series Air C31, the 38 amp hour batteries. It's a big increase in capacity over
From
the
30, yeah.
Yeah, a pretty significant upgrade. Another big difference is going to be your motors and motor controllers. So at first glance, they look very similar, but you'll notice different setup. So on the original model, the ESC is mounted on the top. This one's on the side.
Okay.
And the big difference is the motor, ESC, and the harnesses that go in the arm are all separate units. So the previous model was all one power unit. You couldn't actually disconnect the ESC from the motor.
Okay.
So if you had to service it, you had to replace the whole thing.
Right.
Now it's very easy to replace each individual part. And a lot of these components are also shared with the C31. Yep. So this is a new nozzle design that shares a lot of the components with the C31 as well. It's a little bit simpler, a little bit lighter, and the nozzle motor is different.
Okay.
So you can see there's a little bit different design. I believe they went away from the electronic valve to a passive one-way valve.
Okay.
So it's one less component to...
one less thing to break down.
One less wiring harness, yeah. One big difference is the foam covers are gone now, so they got rid of those and put a little plastic cover on the end to protect the motor.
Yeah, smart.
And I will say, I mean, this is my first time ever seeing this model, so we're seeing...
You too?
It's the first time.
Okay, all right.
A couple things I noticed right off the bat is it just, to me, the fit and finish, like the propellers just look really clean and shiny compared.
Yeah.
And I started with some of the really early models that were really prototypes,
Sure.
so the props weren't painted. This one it just looks good.
She does.
Yeah. Remote controller we have right here in the box, and the remote controller looks just like the previous model. We can open it up with a big difference, and that is the software. So the software that this will be running is Applicator View from Series Air, which is a US-based software company, and that's a big deal with the upcoming, regulatory changes that we're seeing in the industry. So this is getting firmware and software pushed from a US server and managed in the United States as well.
Oh yeah, totally different.
Yeah, different loading screen, and we're going to go through the whole setup and the update process on this here shortly. But let's open up the arms and show everybody kind of what it looks like opened up.
Let's do it.
Yep. And then swing them back. So it also still has a lot of the things that we just love about the HD580, of course, the simplicity and the design, the overall ease of use. Like one thing that I just love about this drone that I don't think a lot of people talk about is the design of having the battery on the front where it's the lowest just makes the ability to take it in and out so much easier, because these batteries
get more
heavy,
heavier
40
too.
pounds for the batteries. So having it nice and low makes it super easy to do battery swaps really quickly.
Right.
And there are a couple other things that have been changed that we can't actually see. So one is the landing gear is actually a different wall thickness now. It's a little bit thicker and heavier duty. It kind of looks the same, really. You can't see it, but it is a thicker material. The frame's been beefed up to support the drone. Still have the same great obstacle avoidance radar system with the omnidirectional radar on the front and the rear-facing radar on the back. It's proven to work great. I mean, we've had these drones in operation now for several seasons, and they've been proven to be extremely reliable. Yeah. And I think these little changes are going to make it even better.
And that's the nice part. When you don't have an absolute overhaul, right? You just have a tweak is a very, very big deal.
It is.
From a reliability standpoint. I mean,
we're not redesigning it from the ground up.
Because I mean, from the applicator stance and all the folks we get to serve and sell to and service, like every year, right? Something totally new, something changing. Yeah. Parts may or may not interchange. So, I'm looking forward to small tweaks instead of just absolutely big jumps.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm excited to get this one in the air, and we're going to see some significant improvements in the flight time, and especially for more complex fields, you're going to be able to get more out of the tank with this bigger battery. So let's.
That's a big deal, dude. Power to payload. It's everything in pasture ground, and the other thing too, like we see a lot of wear on batteries, and I don't know that there's any real data to support this, but we see in some other models a lot of failures, more so like in pasture, than we do in crop
You're
ground.
pushing them a little bit harder
I think
in this
that's
kind
true.
of operation.
And I think your smaller, and we'll get to fly some of that obviously today, but I think your smaller runs, a lot of your turns back and forth,
It just
I feel
drains the battery a lot faster.
Well, and you may or may not know the answer to this, but I've always been curious. You know, in general aviation, that's pretty common. In most other drones, that's not.
Yeah, we could talk about that. So
if you've got, let's do that. Let's dive into that.
This is actually a change that was made in the original version of the HD580. So the very first models that were brought to the States didn't have we call it seesaw props. They were a fixed mounted propeller. And of course, when we brought them to the country and we wanted to make sure that they could compete with the kind of operations we do here. So one of the things was we increased the speed that it could fly up to about 40 miles an hour.
Okay.
And what we found very early on, and Vector found as well, is we were getting significant vibrations throughout the drone that were causing failures of components early on.
In some other models, we've seen a tremendous amount of like bearing issues in motors.
Bearings, the bushings in the props, even the battery terminals were wearing prematurely. We were having radars fail because they're pretty sensitive to vibrations. And Vector was just instrumental at getting this resolved quickly. So we started seeing these faults early on in the early models that we shipped out. They actually sent an engineering team to the country to stay with us throughout the season and engineer the seesaw mount for the propellers, had them manufactured and brought them in literally in suitcases, because that was the fastest way to bring them here, with a team of people, and then sent that team throughout the country to our dealers to upgrade the models. So they got the seesaw props and a thicker arm to make it vibrate less. And since then, that problem was completely resolved. And they went through and updated every single drone that we purchased, including the ones in the warehouse, opened them up, upgraded them all before they got sent out.
Because I hate to see it like right now, I mean, we're spending, I mean, everybody can look at the price of a motor, right?
Yeah.
And if that bearing goes out or anything like that, I mean, it is a significant cost. And like you said, the ongoing issues, and we're trying to diagnose certain drones. And like I said, it's great that there's so many models out.
Right.
But there are things that, you know, trying to diagnose and kind of shoot these through is a very, very challenging thing to do.
It is.
You're like chasing your tail half the time. So I think, and vibrations in aviation is a big deal. Drones shouldn't be any different.
Yeah, no, and I would argue that, you know, vibrations are kind of the cause of most failures on drones. There's a lot of different aspects of testing, I would say. So one of them would be the actual spray data. So Vector has...
That did turn out good, yeah?
Yeah, they collaborated with a couple different testing centers. Probably the most popular that people have seen online are the testing that Steve Lee at University of Auburn Extension has done.
Sure.
And
Love Steve.
He's great. And the Vector really shows excellent spray patterns. That's the thing that we were honestly kind of surprised by when we first brought him on, is the deposition quality and the swath width that this drone gets is really optimal. So the dual motor versus single motor design. The reality is the main reason some drones have two motors versus one motor is simply a cost-cutting measure in production. So the motor is designed to work on two different sizes of drones. So we look at DJI, the T50 and the T25. They utilize the same motors. One is dual, one is single. And it's simply designed that way so that they only have to design one motor, and they can make it modular and expand the size of the drone. As far as how does it affect the spray pattern, really the data shows it doesn't affect it that much.
And I think that's hard for folks to wrap their head around. It was hard for me to wrap my head around. It looked different, it felt different, but then when you look on paper or receipts, I mean, it's like...
It's not a huge difference. There's some differences in the structure of the drone, of course. Like you'll notice most dual motor drones don't have seesaw props, and that is because the counter rotating motors basically cancel out those harmonic vibrations that we see on the style drone. And really, any drone with a single rotor like this, when you get to this kind of size and speed, if they don't have this seesaw design, they're gonna struggle at high speeds with maneuverability, vibrations, etc. Which is why you see the single rotor designs, most of them are going to this style propeller, and the ones that aren't are limited in the kind of speed they can fly or their maneuverability.
When you said they did change the sprayer a little bit, what actually got changed? And I guess what was the result of that, right? I know it's a quality.
I mean, really the main difference is the motor for the nozzle And
so the centrifugal motor.
The centrifugal motor. And it's just a kind of a simpler, updated design. This shares the components with the C31 as well. So again, it's made to be modular. It's made for a dealer like you to have to keep less parts in the shop.
Sure.
And you're cutting costs, and it's, you know, if you're running an HD580 and a C31, you know that both systems, you're going to know them like the back of your hand.
Which that's in any brand. I mean, you usually see somebody's got a larger drone, a smaller drone, especially around here to complement the smaller areas.
That's right.
I mean, these fields, you know, these are some of our larger fields. But
Yeah,
the place we go to today.
Absolutely.
Hold on to your.
The 40-gallon drone is not going to be the right tool for all jobs.
Sure.
Right. So it just makes sense to have something smaller like this.
Yeah, and I think that's where I get back to that power payload comment. Right. It's everything for us.
Yeah.
Power, payload, and the pasture.
Yeah.
There's got to be some marketing ploy there.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the fact that Vector was able to collaborate with Series on operating under the same software is so important.
Sure.
I can't stress that enough.
So you're saying, and just for the end user, you're saying you can log into one account, both drones. You can see all
share
your
all
data
the maps, share all the data, and you can run it in Applicator View, which is Series Air software, which is phenomenal software, and it's only getting better. It's still very new, but it's incredible what you can do with it. It's like several leagues above what everybody else has already.
Yep.
And it's only going to continue getting better. So having this drone run that US software from Series Air is so important. It really puts this drone a step above now. This is a very affordable drone for the capacity and the capabilities that it has.
Sure.
Let's open up the new batteries and show that off, because there's going to be some changes with the batteries and the charging system. To me, it's almost hard to believe that you can get into this drone for under $30,000 for a base package, especially seeing the capabilities of the new batteries and chargers.
And one thing we didn't say, the tank size.
Yeah, it's almost 19 gallons,
Yeah.
so it's quite a significant tank size, and it also has a very large spreader option as well.
And,
so you can see as soon as we open the box, we actually get a wiring guide for the charger with a QR code that brings you right to the manual.
Nice.
So this charger is a 12 kW rated output charger. So it is a seriously beefy charger.
Sure.
And because of that, it does not come pre-wired with a plug, because in a lot of cases you're actually running this charger hardwired to a generator.
Okay.
This charger can operate on single phase or 3-phase generators. It's just wired differently depending on the requirements. That's why we have both options on there.
And voltage on the 3-phase is?
Voltage on the 3-phase can be up to 480 volt 3-phase. And the charging speed is the same, whether you're running single phase or 3-phase, as long as you have enough power capacity in the generator.
Sure.
So I mentioned 12 kW, that is the output of the charger, so the input requirements are actually a little bit higher. We recommend for these chargers a minimum 15 kW generator, and recommended 16. So it gives you a little bit extra margin. And I'm sure anybody that's watching this video will know you always want to give yourself extra margin on generators, because let's just say most generators are rated optimistically.
Yeah, optimistically. And that's where, you know, we've stopped running. I remember when we got started, and we went with some cheaper models and tried to save $1 or $2 and blew those sky high. And you know, anyway, so we've learned from our mistakes, and we carry a few good models now.
Definitely. And one thing that I really like about this charger is if you don't have a generator that has that kind of capacity, you can adjust the power output. So you can turn it down, you can go from 1,000 to 12,000 watts. And you can see it includes a standard 110 volt power socket if you just want to charge slow.
Sure.
Obviously it's going to charge slower if you turn the speed down, but for example, if you only have a 10,000 watt generator, you can still use this charger. It's just going to be a little bit slower.
Well, which is a great, absolutely. And that's okay.
That's fine, yeah. So we can see our battery here. It looks very similar to the previous generation. It's just a little taller.
Sure.
And it has, of course, our cylindrical style plug, which is super durable, can handle a lot of current. And it just pops into the charger just like that. It's all contained into one unit, right? So there's no extra power harnesses that you need to run the fan or anything crazy like that. You just plug the power into the side of the charger over here and hook this up to your generator, and you are good to go. Just hit the power button, drop your battery in, and it starts charging automatically. It's got 3 independent power supplies inside.
Amperage requirements, what's it?
So it depends on whether you're running single phase or 3-phase. On single phase, it will require at its maximum power output about 60 amps.
60 amps, okay.
So if we wire in a 50 amp socket, we're gonna have to turn the power down a little bit. You can see the battery just drops right into the top, just like that. Super easy to set up. This drone, a couple things I like about it, compared to a couple other models that we've used in the past, it does utilize a load cell design for the tank. So it measures the weight of the tank, and it also has dual flow meters on the pumps to measure the output. So it's calculating.
Are you saying each pump has a flow meter?
Each pump has its own independent flow meter. And it's just very accurate in its spray calibration. That's something that we've had issues in the past with some other models that don't use load cells. And this one we've just had really good success with actually the accuracy of the spray system. We can go ahead and turn on the remote, turn on the drone, and we'll get started with the activation. We'll log into our account and get it ready. We'll power on the drone. We'll hear a beep from the drone, so don't jump. That's what we say too. Every time you turn on in the shop. Right. Every time. It's so fun. We have our drone powered on. We got our remote powered on, and there's our Series Air software already on the screen. First thing we'll need to do is, for the setup, we do need to connect to Wi-Fi. There's a couple ways you can get to the Wi-Fi. The setup on these drones, honestly, has been really easy compared to some of the other platforms I've used in the past. Like, so seamless just to get the updates installed and get everything ready. Perfect. We'll go ahead and hit the begin or the start button there, and it should ask you to log into your Series Air account, which you did create before we came here. We'll also go through the pairing process from the remote to the drone. Right, hit the start button. The first thing we'll do is pair the drone.
Neither the left nor right dial has been calibrated.
Sounds like we need to calibrate the remote, but that's no problem. Setting a little gear icon on the top.
Okay.
And once you're in there, we'll go to the remote controller. And we're going to scroll down. There should be a pairing. So then at this point, there's a couple different ways you can pair it. One way, you can actually lift the back of the drone up and it'll pair automatically. The other way, which is number 2 here, is you just hold the battery button down, 10 seconds.
10 seconds, okay.
The lights will change on the battery,
Drone connected.
And there it is. And drone is connected. So pretty seamless. There's going to be updates for the remote and the DET, all the stuff, you know, the usual out-of-the-box stuff, but it runs you through it pretty easily.
So will it give you the prompt, or I can go to one spot and see all the updates?
It'll give you the prompt like that, or you can go to the device management page, and it'll show you each device, so the drone, the remote, the charger, the batteries.
Got it.
And be able to update them independently. Yep, go ahead and activate.
Let the warranty begin.
Yes. All right, activation code. Hang on. I'll pull it up for you.
So is that a generic code, or is that user-specific?
It is it's specific to the aircraft, but it's not user specific.
Got it.
But
beautiful.
When that's done, this drone's ready to fly.
She's ready to fly.
I mean, that did not take long at all, and we're filming a video too, so we're not exactly going fast, but pretty darn simple to set up and run.
And cut.